What's up, Taurus? This energy is intense. Like someone cannot get you out of their head no matter what they do. Um, they try to distract themselves. They try to act like they don't care, but it's not working. You're in their thoughts all the time, in their dreams, in their silence. Taurus, this person is obsessed with your energy. The way you made them feel, the way you walked away, it's driving them crazy. They're watching, thinking, replaying everything, and realizing they can't replace you. This isn't just love anymore. This is something deeper, something they can't escape. Um, Trust your intuition and let's get into your reading.
Okay, so I feel like you are in this tiger energy. You're trusting your intuition, you're feeling bold and brave, but you're still not fully in your authentic power. The tiger camouflages itself, still trying to blend in. It's still not embodying its full power. There's still some fear of being seen. And this is something that's very triggering at the moment because there's a lot of cloudiness around this yellow and orange in this card. This is definitely a period of high learning for you with the Hierophant here. You are challenging what you know, you're questioning it, you're looking at it from a very intellectual and also very deeply spiritual perspective. You are challenging the status quo. You're trying to figure out who you are. You're using your intuition. You are using your intellect. Regardless, all three paths are very transformative energies. You're not prepared to invest or share. I feel like whilst the universal divine plan is trying to push you forward, you are still kind of holding back from sowing your seeds because you're not entirely sure what you want yet. You're still working it out. You're in this period of suspense, learning, and explorations. You're still not sure who you are or where you're going or what you want, but you are learning to let go a little bit. You're coming out of your shell somewhat. Even though there's this desire to blend in, you are coming to terms with the truth of who you are. You're just not quite there yet. Your person is in this vulture energy. The vulture is a very patient energy. It's the confidence of knowing I will get what I want, but there's also an avoidance of responsibility here. The vulture doesn't hunt for its own food, it scavenges. I feel like from a spiritual perspective, they're still in that slightly codependent energy. They're probably always asking you for healing, and you know they're still not ready to take responsibility for their spiritual self. However, we've got two kings here. They're still feeling pretty powerful, and they're feeling a lot more in control of their emotions. There's a very deep love here. This is someone that cares, someone whose protector provider energy has been activated. With the Page of Cups here, there's someone that wants to reach out, but I feel like they haven't yet. You can see in this card here, they're sat thinking about it, but you see these hands down here that haven't quite made it into reality yet. So I feel like your person has been triggered by your hesitancy because they're really in this energy now of knowing the truth of their feelings, being confident in their intent, and wanting to make a move, but neither party is taking action. Now, the connecting energy being the bear is very stable, comforting energy, but it also says hibernation to me. The bear needs to go within, rest, and recuperate. This is what I feel is happening, particularly with you. It's almost like your person is just waiting for their moment. They feel like they need a lucky break. I feel like there's been some kind of major conflict between you two at some point, and you may not have spoken for a while. They're thinking there's an instinct in them that you still may want them, but they're not 100% confident. They're thinking, luck be on my side. I really want this to work out. In terms of how they're both feeling, this is very revealing. We've got the Queen of Pentacles here. There's a lot of Taurus energy on your side as well. We've got the Hierophant, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Empress here as well. This is very Taurus energy. The bull features in this card too. You could argue that the King of Pentacles is also very grounded and earthy, very Taurus energy that's coming through. So there are lots of energies here, but Taurus energy is coming through strong. The Queen of Pentacles as feelings is very practical. And we've also got the Knight of Pentacles here. Again, very practical. I feel like you are trying to move out of your emotional self and trying to be a bit more grounded and real. This doesn't feel balanced, if I'm really honest. It feels like a kind of denial of feelings, which interestingly, I feel is their energy. Your person has moved out of this. So you have got this push-pull energy here, but it's not in balance. The energy should be still, neither hesitant nor charging forward. It should just be calm and still. I do feel like your person is reacting strongly to this energetic pullback of yours because you've been really practical. You're focusing on your own power and independence. You're not ready to invest in this connection, even though you're letting go of some of the frustrations, and you are planning how to move forward. But you haven't made a decision yet, you're not taking action yet, and you're somewhat out of balance with your emotions. You're not facing them, you're kind of putting them to one side at the moment, being very practical, very pragmatic, trying to figure this out using your intuition and intellect. We have a lot of pentacles here. This is very grounded energy. And the only emotional card to come up, the cups, is in reverse. Remember, six is the number of lovelessness. The six of cups is a soulmate card, and you're saying, not now, please. I'm still working this out. I'm focusing on me. I'm taking this time for me. Your person, I feel, has been triggered by your not now. Thank you very much. I feel this has inspired them to want it more. Classic runner chaser dynamic, but the tables have turned. They're feeling very passionate. This is the Ace of Wands. This is someone whose heart and soul are on fire for it right now. They want it bad. They want that passionate new beginning, but really, they've not done enough inner work to balance their energy. But with this Empress here, both parties are creating a new way forward. This is definitely the energy of a new beginning, a rebirth. The manifestation of something new is just not shifted yet. What is shifting, however, is you finally moving into the action oriented mode. This is really beautiful, these shifting energies down here. After all, this push pull energy, we're starting to see it come somewhat into balance. You move into your emotional space with the Knight of Cups here. You're thinking, okay, I thought long and hard about it. I've tried not to let my emotions get in the way. I've tried to be really pragmatic, but I'm ready for romance. I'm ready to open up my heart again. With the King of Swords here, you're still being ruthlessly practical about this. You're using your head and your heart. If anything, your head is ruling the situation. But we've got the Knight of Cups and the Page of Cups here, and I feel like you're going to reach out to them, letting them know I'm ready. I'm ready to speak to you. You've made me wait long enough. I've taken my power back to a degree, even though they're still out of balance. You're ready to speak your truth. All right, they're going to be feeling absolutely victorious about this. This feels like a big win after all of that. A powerful competing energy. If I really want to be successful here, I really want to bring this back. There's going to be a period of celebration and passion, and we've got the Two of Cups here. As I said, that King of Pentacles energy up here is King of Cups. This is very solid, mature energy. They're looking long term, they're looking at mature emotions. With the Two of Cups energy, they're ready for that new beginning. The Page of Pentacles in reverse cautions you to be patient. That offer is coming. Baby steps. It feels like there's still something that needs to be addressed between you, that both of you have a reluctance to actually do it. Even though one's going to beat out the other, one is going to be really responsive and celebrating, really happy about it. There's a bond in the air. It feels like this is a really happy outcome, but there's this caution here. Things might take a little while to actually unfold. I feel like both parties are going to be dancing around the subject. What are we actually doing here? Remember what I said about this bear energy? There's going to be a need to just hibernate, sit on this, and be patient. That's what's being confirmed here as well, but beautiful energies overall. But this is really lovely. What comes across the most is really how much your person is surrendering to this connection. They're longing for you, they are very determined, they're prepared to wait, they want you. They know that there needs to be a period of withdrawal and hibernation, but they're keen. They're aching to get that message. They're aching to just release their truth, to speak to you, to be real with you, to tell you how they feel. This person's really in a much more mature space. You may have waited a really long time for them to come forward with this, but, again, another cautionary note in this vulture energy, this person isn't in their spiritual power yet. You two may not be twin flames or soulmates, and that's okay. It doesn't matter so much, but this person's still picking at leftovers in terms of their own ascension. It's really important to know they're not spiritually awakened. But you're doing all of this questioning, you've got a lot more clarity, you've gained more wisdom through this process of being more pragmatic, But you need to be really cautious about not escaping into this dream and fantasy. You need to hold onto this wisdom, hold this purity within you, and move gently, slowly, and carefully because they definitely still have work to do. So you don't want to rush in. There's definitely a call for both of you to be patient and not get frustrated with the lack of rapid progress because I don't see that happening. We've got creation, affinity, passion, motivation, and pleasure. And for your person, we've got compassion, release, chance, wisdom, and sensuality. They're so passionate for you. Honestly, this person's on fire for you. You need to embrace the passion. Both of you have passion here and sensuality here. This person is desperate for a chance. They're ready to engage their heart in this. They just want to express it to you. They're so inspired by your wisdom. They're so inspired by your strength. You just need to allow yourself to embrace this creative process and move toward this more stable and pleasurable connection. You need to let it move forward, reignite that affinity between you. You need to get motivated as well. I feel like you've been paused for so long that you've almost lost the momentum, but you need to get back into that pleasure zone. Remember the excitement that existed between you two. I feel like it's hard to do that. You're still struggling to open your heart. That's why we have the Knight of Cups and the Page of Cups here. They're in that King of Cups energy. They're ready. They might not spill it all at once, but they're feeling it. They're approaching their feelings in a mature way. Yours are still catching up because you're afraid they might let you down again. Breath of the cosmos, big picture thinking, the courageous peony. You're not for everyone. Wait, there's so much patience for them. All paths lead home. I'm going to get a connecting one. You're not alone. I feel like my will to die is really powerful. Micromanaging the universe. You have to remember that you always have free will. You're in control of your own journey, but you're being inspired here to think outside the box. Big picture thinking, Pleiades energy, visionary inspired ideas. This is again about finding your pleasure, motivation, and passion for moving forward. Let yourself be seen. Remembering that we started here with this tiger energy of feeling the need to blend in. I feel like often you struggle to be your authentic self, especially when it comes to feelings. If you're a Taurus energy or air energy, we've got the King of Swords down here, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. You're not very good at being vulnerable in your emotions. This is what you need to step into. You need to let yourself be seen, stop trying to hide, stop trying to dim your light to fit in. They're looking to do the same. I feel like they're more accepting if they're not for everyone. They embrace their weirdness. Wait, it's not time yet. Things are being woven. They know this. They know things need to be incubated. They're ready to be patient. And it says here, all paths lead home. They know now that whatever happens, there's some kind of destiny between you and they trust it. You're not alone, physical connection, and community. Don't isolate yourselves. Remember, you're always connected to one another. Messenger bringing harmony and balance. There's going to be communication between you two that will start restoring all of that beautiful chemistry that I feel you've been closed off to. This is really earthy, beautiful, sensual energy coming your way. I'm actually a little bit jealous. Now, I want to know how feeling trapped or isolated in distorted love is actually leading to a profound spiritual breakthrough for you, even if your person seems cold or emotionally shut down right now. So, you are in this whale energy. This feels really lonely, if I'm honest. I'm actually getting kind of this wave of loneliness. Big fish, small pond was also coming through. You feel trapped, you feel misunderstood, you feel isolated and alone, but you're also connecting with this really high wisdom. You're connecting with your higher self. You're beginning to communicate with the truth of who you are, is what I'm hearing, but you're in the dark. You're in a dark place. Your person is in this lizard energy, and I just can't help getting a sense of coldness from them. It's like they have emotionally shut down, they have shut off. I would be very surprised if there was any heartfelt communication between these two at the moment. It feels painful for both of them, but in different ways. The buffalo energy is so kind and gentle though, and so grounded. With these thunderbolts in the background, it feels like there's been some kind of spiritual revelation. I feel like your person rejected them, but it's bringing things sharply into focus for you. You know how kind energies are ones of isolation and withdrawal? You're in this devil energy, but you've got the lovers down here, so it's moving in the right directions. But this devil energy is distorted love. This is someone that is really feeling the pull to their person in a painful way. You feel very attached, you feel very pained that you're not with them, and you're completely absorbed in those painful emotions. You're not able to release yourself from them. You just, it feels trapped, this horrible, anxious, painful attachment. But you know the divine plan is shifting everything. The chariot is moving things forward. These are such beautiful cards, by the way, but look, receive these caterpillars here, this ladybug here, kind of, appearing and taking flight. The caterpillars haven't gone through that transformative process yet, but this is where the universe is pointing you. And this feels like a magpie here, Well, it is affecting its treasures, hoarding, possessiveness, jealousy, and magpies to me, when they're on their own, symbolize sorrow. So I'm getting a lot of painful energies for you, and I feel like this is because your person has rejected you. They've rejected this spiritual mumbo jumbo, is what I'm hearing. They're saying it is, this mood. They're not able to give back. I do feel they are either tangled up with work, but there are so many threes in this reading for them that it could be this person's definitely got a karmic partner. They've got another partner there with somebody else, and they cannot give you what they want. They're not prepared to give you what they want, and yet there's a lot of sexual energy between you. And I feel like this is maybe why you are hurting. It could be that the sky has been quite cold, and even though they recognize your feelings, they're still coming in all flirty or fun, getting their wild oats and then disappearing again. It's interesting that there's a hawk in this card, the spiritual messenger. As I said, there has been some kind of spiritual truth spoken, and I'm guided this knight has got his mask down, he's got his armor on, he's resistant to it, okay? But this is very fiery, passionate energy. So it could be that there's been a big, a lot of physical interactions between you, but they're cold. They're not giving you anything of an emotional nature. They're pulling back, and I feel this is really hurting you. You feel used, you feel pained, isolated, and yet powerless to release yourself from it. There's some really hard energies. I feel like you know that you're gonna do the work, though. You know you've gotta take care of yourself. You know you have to invest in yourself. So, I feel like this chariot energy is doing its work. We've got 2 sevens here. This is divine energy. This is fated universe or intervention. And, I feel like even though you're in a lot of pain, you have such gentility about you. You're such a gentle soul, and you're ready to get busy. I feel like you know the truth of this connection. As I said, you're connecting with this highest spiritual knowing now, this wisdom, and you know what to do to remove and release yourself from this pain. And you're feeling like you're ready to take control of that. You're ready to invest in yourself, but your person is just not feeling happy. They know they're out of balance. They know they're not being fair. It feels like they don't want to reject you fully, and they feel like by saying, we can't be anything more than friends and benefits right now, they think they're being honest and real. But really, this doesn't satisfy them either. And, the sun in reverse here is here for the connecting energy and their energy. But I feel like you're looking on the brighter side. You know that things will eventually shift, even though you're in pain now, and you know what you need to do. They're feeling like they need to step away from this situation because they're involved with someone else, but they feel pained to reject you. They don't feel fully able to let go. You know the thought that doesn't make them happy, but neither does the situation they're in. So, I feel like there's a lot of inner conflict there, and they've also got that, I feel like they've also got this inkling that you've got the key to joy somehow, and they're not figured out what that means. And it doesn't really make sense to them, but they've got this kind of download or just intuition, and there's something powerful between them. But because they're such a logical, rational person whose heart's closed off, they're not seeing the truth of it. And I feel like you tried to speak to them about it, and they're just kind of poo-pooed it instead and said, "I don't think so." We've got another 7 here with this tower moment coming for you, and in terms of what's shifting. But, I think you need to remember that this shift is what creates the way for a new way forward. And we've got the Ace of Pentacles clarified by the Lovers and also the Hierophant. Again, this high learning, this transformation is moving away from distorted, dysfunctional, attached love to a much healthier, more balanced, and real love. So I do see you cycling through this process of healing at an accelerated pace. You're a very wise person. You may be in the dark right now, but intellectually, you know how to get yourself out of it. And I feel that because you've done that research, because you've got this powerful light body, you're ready to move rapidly through that ascension process and get yourself to this, out of this distorted and anxious attachment into this much more healthy, balanced, loving energy, and to start really creating that powerful transformation within you. I do feel like your person, honestly, for some of you, I think they may have a baby with the karmic, this pregnancy indicated here. There's intense grief and sorrow, and it could be that their partner, their karmic partner, finds out about this connection. It's either that or they're trying to release themselves from it, which creates a lot of pain. So, got the devil in reverse here, letting go of anxious attachment. Either way, there's going to be some pain in that love triangle. For some of you, this is going to be them letting go of anxious attachment, leaving the karmic situation. She could be pregnant, or this likewise could mean giving birth to a new way forward. There are so many threes here that I feel like there's a lot of drama strongly tied up with this karmic situation and the ex. But likewise, because this could just as easily be them releasing the attachment to that third party, and even though that's painful and grief stricken, it allows them to give birth to this new beginning to embrace a new world. Either way, a decision is being made with this Two of Wands. But what's really interesting about this is look, this person is bound to both wands. And for me, this is about how this connection is destined and magnetized. You can't really choose anyone but the other, and you've got that masculine, feminine, yin yang symbol on his sleeve. So with the lovers here, the Hierophant, that can also indicate a committed relationship. So from that tower moment explosion, and I just want to point out this third party triangle and how unhappy this guy is about his refusal to commit. It could be the third party that exists in your life and that they're just pained about it and won't commit because of that. Okay. That might be why they're shutting themselves down. So it could be that this third party is actually only half the side of the fence and this is their reaction to it. But I feel like they're gonna move away from whatever connection or attachment they have here, or something's gonna be released because the lovers and the Hierophant is a committed relationship. And either way, a decision is being made. Powerful energies. Let's see what else we can get here. This is the Alki Oracle. We've got she who notches, she who questions, she who surrenders, and she who loves. She who brings light, she who yearns, she who forgives, she who divines. It's them making a choice, I think. I think this is their karmic situation. I feel like they're letting it go and moving on towards his Empress, towards you, towards a new beginning. As I said, you're dead gentle. You're so empathic. I feel like they really respect this about you. They love this about you that even in your pain and your sorrow and your anguish, you hope that in such a dignified way. You're so nurturing and lovely, but you're following your destiny. You know where you're heading, you're releasing yourself from that devil energy, you're surrendering. And even though you're fragile, and you're suffering through that rejection, I feel like you're just finding a way through it with such dignity. This was a beautiful energy on this side of you. I do think it's them leaving their ex, their partner, their current partner even, and there's so much remorse here. We've got future choice and judgment. They know what they need to. I think really they long to be with you. They see your light, she who brings light. They know that you're this beautiful, nurturing, empathic light, this beacon of light for them, true peace and true stillness. It's inspired within them when you're in and they're in your company. I do think it's them moving away from a karmic connection that has brought you so much pain. They're moving towards you. That's what I'm seeing. It's the commitment cards here and them letting go of that painful third party situation, moving towards you, Demeter, pleasure, death about transformation, devotion, and emotions. For your person, we've got wisdom, protation, motivation, depth. That for me, this is finding your way out of the dark. They're called Belden. We've got death next to it, transformation. It's finding a way out of the dark, back into the light through your devotion to spirit, your devotion to expressing your emotions, and staying true to your own song for your person. I do feel like they just need to let go of their feelings as well, but I do feel like they're more inspired and motivated to find that emotional depth within themselves. They're so inspired by your wisdom. And I do think this connection is divinely protected at the moment. There's so many faded cards, especially on your side, that I feel are pushing it forward in the right direction all the time. But we've got wait. It's not time yet. Things are being woven. You baby steps, follow your intuition even before it makes sense. Karmic relationships, look at that Orion energy. Soul growth and calm legs. So there's stuff that needs to be resolved here. You'll have to be patient. Star family, you're part of a team with Solstice call and support. It's happening. Keep holding the vision. New Earth, soul gifts and training. Time to step up and fall into my arms. And holding the opposite extremes of life. Holding the opposites. I really feel like that's what they're dealing with. They've got opposite extremes here. They've got this very harsh, brash, abrasive person this side, this soft, gentle, lovely, wise person on this side. I feel like they seek the support of their family, and no one understands lonely energies for them. It feels like they're in this on their own, bringing unconsciousness to light. Even though they're not accepting your spiritual guru, as they may have called it, big picture thinking, they've been inspired by this idea. Cosmic ancestors see the light by staying grounded. They're going to see the truth. Seed the light, seed it, watch it grow. Deep love, mother's milk, birth as a portal. This is a new beginning. Babies are coming up strong. Hearing this could be the birth of a new age, a new time, a new beginning. And that for some of you, it's going to mean a literal birth in the world, but not of it. Learning how to be human, it's a real need to stay grounded here. Powerful. Just trust your intuition, even before it makes sense. Be patient. Things are being woven. Karmic relationships are still playing out, but this is what creates the soul growth. Everything's moving in the right direction. And you're being so brave. You're being so brave. All right, guys, that's all I've got for you for this reading. Um, Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I really appreciate it. You all mean a lot. And I'll catch you in the next one. Take care, okay? Bye bye.